Hi guys, it's Couponing Stacy here, and today I have a different video for you guys. I have been eating keto for a little over a week now, and I originally planned to kind of vlog my journey. If you guys have been watching me for a while, I did do daily vlogs when I did Whole30 the first time, and I made a separate channel for that. So I intended to kind of do maybe like weekly vlogs, but I was just finding that I wasn't remembering to film a lot, or it just wasn't fitting, you know, in my daily schedule to be able to film. So what I did is on Saturday, which was day 6 of keto for me, I filmed what I ate in a day. So I decided to do that for you guys. If you guys like this video and you want to see more keto videos along my keto journey, then just let me know in the comments down below. As far as being informed about keto, I'm probably not the best source for that since I am new, but I did look into keto a lot before I decided to actually do it. In fact, I have been researching it for a while. I think it was maybe like September. At some point I thought about keto and then I decided not to do it because I think on paper it just doesn't sound like the healthiest diet or the easiest to maintain long term. But as I really researched it more and educated myself, I watched The Magic Pill, which is a Netflix documentary. So I do recommend that if you want to learn more. That'll kind of give you like the science behind it, but not necessarily like the rules of keto. But that's kind of, I did a lot of research before I decided that I did want to do the keto diet. So this is not like an uninformed decision by any means. And if you want to know more about it, I highly encourage you to do your own research. I think anytime you're making dietary changes, you want to make sure you are being smart about it. Since it is your body, you want to do what's best for your body and your health. So yeah, I'm just going to show you guys what I ate on Saturday. Okay, so now that it's the weekend, I thought I would show you my typical keto breakfast. I haven't done this every single day, but I do this most days. So I start by heating up 2 tablespoons of salted butter. So I just do that over like medium-low heat. And then I do 2 eggs. I don't think I can show you 2 eggs without spilling it, but there's 2 eggs in here, and I whisk those up. So once the butter is fully melted, I will throw the eggs in there with a little salt and pepper. And at the end, I put in half a cup of cheese. And the cheese I prefer is Mexican style, but honestly, like any cheese works. I have done cheddar. I find that the finely shredded one melts better though, so that is what I use. The cheddar I have right now is not finely shredded, so it doesn't work as good. So it's gonna look like a lot of butter, and it is a lot of butter, but on keto, you need to be eating mostly fats. So the butter is a really good source of fat without any carbs or protein. The cheese is a good source of fat, but it does have some protein in it. So the idea, you know, is low carb, moderate protein, high fat. So this is a pretty good breakfast to get me started with the keto rules. So I'm gonna get protein in my eggs and some fat from the yolk, a little fat from the cheese and some protein there, and then fat from my butter. Alright, so the butter is melted. It's actually starting to brown, so I need to hurry up and get the eggs in there. Alright, and then I just immediately start swishing it around so they don't overcook in certain areas. Alright, now that my eggs are cooked, I turn the heat down to low and I dump in my cheese. And then I just start mixing that in to get it melted in the pan. Alright, so that is that. I also don't like mine super mild, but I also don't want it super spicy, so I do add in some Tabasco. A serving is a teaspoon, and I just use half a teaspoon on mine. Okay, so here is my typical keto breakfast. It's nothing super fancy, but I am going to go eat this. All right, over here, I just wanted to show you my macros for the day. This is the app that I use, the Keto Diet app. So I plugged in everything from breakfast, and at the top, it tells me how many calories, carbs, protein, fat that I have left for the day. I think I go over here. Yeah, see, I can click on the individual things and see how much I've eaten for each category, which when it's just breakfast, it tells me what I did for that meal then. And then I can get an overview at the top. So that was breakfast for me. Okay guys, I am back and I am going to have lunch now. So I'm just having leftovers today since I am at home. A lot of times, you know, I'm eating at work, so I pack lunch and I'll just pack some deli meat or tuna fish or something like that. And I've had clips along the way that I can kind of show my lunches here throughout the week. All right, here's my keto day 1 lunch. I have half an avocado that I kind of made into a guac. I have 4 pieces of ham. It's a little protein heavy, so I might just do 3 tomorrow. I have celery with cream cheese, and I'm gonna actually put everything bagel seasoning on that, and a cheesesteak. I'm doing a terrible job of vlogging keto, but this is day 3 lunch, so it's half a can of tuna with mayo, a whole avocado, and I put some seasoning and mixed it up. And then this was in day 1 lunch. It is celery sticks with cream cheese, and then Trader Joe's everything but the bagel seasoning is so good. This is like the most delicious seasoning ever. So yeah, nothing too exciting. But for this, I am having leftovers. Earlier in the week, I made taco meat. So I'm gonna have a taco salad, which is what I have been having with that. So this just, everything on keto involves a lot of measuring. So I'm going to measure out my spinach. I think normally I do 2 cups of spinach. I might do more spinach today. We'll see how it's looking. Maybe I'll even do 2.5 cups instead of a full 3. Spinach is great because on keto, you can become electrolyte deficient, which is potassium, magnesium, and salt. So you want to be very careful and make sure you're getting those in your food, or if you do think you're becoming deficient, then take a vitamin supplement for those. So when I measure spinach, I do like squish it down into the cup to get a measurement. I think that's how it's supposed to be measured, not like loosely. So this is 1 cup of spinach. But anyway, the spinach has, I believe, some potassium in it, which is good. And obviously, like on keto, you can't eat things like bananas, which have the potassium in them. And avocados are important to eat so that you get magnesium. I am definitely prone to becoming magnesium deficient. I have become magnesium deficient on Whole30 before, and I get Charlie horses in my sleep. So as long as I eat a whole avocado a day, I am good with that. Okay, that's actually a lot of spinach, so I am just gonna do 2 cups instead of more than that. I do cheese. I'm doing the same cheese as this morning because it is like a Mexican salad. So I'm going to do half a cup of cheese. You can do a 1/4 cup. Like anytime you do keto, kind of do it based on your own macros. And like I showed you guys earlier, I use the Keto Diet app, and you do have to pay for that app. A lot of people like Carb Manager. I like the look of Keto Diet more, so that's what I do. But if you're on keto, you can do whatever works for you. All right, so I have my cheese. Then I'm gonna do my taco meat. On the app I use, the Keto Diet app, you can put in your own recipe and then calculate the servings. I've done that for certain things like the ranch I made. I did that. This, I just type in taco meat and that is like a category on there. So I just use whatever they already have to get my measurement because while this has some fat in it, it's definitely more protein heavy, but I do a half a cup of the meat. Also, if I have it for dinner, I'll have a better idea of how much protein I have left for the day, so I might end up only doing a 1/4 cup of meat. It just really depends on what I have left. But for lunch, I haven't used very much for the day, so I am doing 1/2 cup today. Okay, next I'm gonna put in a whole avocado. I'm going to cube it inside of the shell and then put it inside the salad. When I've been having this for dinner, I don't add avocado because I've been having avocados with my lunch. But this is my lunch, so I'm having it now. Actually, this knife's too sharp. I'm gonna grab a duller one. The goal is definitely not to cut ourselves, but the little boy I nanny for, he has avocados with lunch all the time, so I'm used to cutting avocados in the shell. I think it's easier. I have started storing these in the fridge. I learned that from my mother-in-law, that they'll actually keep a little bit longer in the fridge versus if you have them out on the counter, which is how I used to store them, and then they go bad really quickly. So that's a tip if you're trying to eat a lot of avocados, because I like to buy them. I like to buy like 8 at a time, and then I obviously don't want them to go bad. So that is a way that's been helping. Okay, so I got my whole avocado in here now. Next, I will add my dressing. This is a homemade ranch dressing. It's coconut milk, olive oil, and vinegar, basically. There's some other stuff in it, but that's the gist of it. So I just measure out a 1/4 cup of the dressing and I pour that in. And you can have regular ranch on keto, and actually, after I run out of this, I am just going to switch to using regular ranch. My issue with regular ranch is that it does have sugar in it, and I don't think that's necessary in a dressing. But the one that I bought to use after I finish this is the, actually the Olive Garden one. It had the least amount of sugar. It had less sugar than like Hidden Valley or Kraft or anything, so that's what I'm going to use next. And the Olive Garden one, I believe, also had less carbs. 2 tablespoons only had 1 carb versus the other brands had 2 carbs per serving. And obviously where you want to spend your carbs is pretty important on keto. So I don't want to be spending as many carbs on my salad dressing. I'd rather be able to have like some blueberries at the end of the day. So I picked the one that only had 1 carb and it had less sugar. Okay, the last thing for my salad that I'm going to bother to measure out is going to be sour cream. A serving of this is 2 tablespoons. I'm just gonna do 1 tablespoon. I'm not the biggest fan of sour cream. Like, it's okay, so I don't want to use as much, but it is a pretty good fat source, so I do want to put some of it in my salad. So I will just go ahead and do that. All right, that's everything that needs to get measured out. The last thing I put is the Taco Bell taco sauce. This is actually 0 carbs, 0 protein, 0 calories, so it doesn't count toward anything on in terms of like what I'm eating in a day. So I don't measure this out because it doesn't matter how much I eat. So I'm just gonna pour some of this on and then my lunch will be ready. Okay. So I do drink water with everything on keto. I'm actually not a coffee drinker, so the only thing I drink is water. But yeah, so I'll go have my salad, I'll have some water, and then we will check back in at dinner. Okay, here's where I am at after lunch. I added everything that I ate. So again, you can see what I have left for the day and everything like that. I do forget to do dinner later, so I apologize for that. But yeah, here's where I'm at and what I have left for dinner for the evening. I am going to go over as a spoiler, but yeah, this is where I was at. Alright guys, I am doing dinner now. This is my final meal of the day. I may or may not have a snack later, depends kind of like what I have left for my macros, but I am making a recipe I never made before. I am making green chili chicken. So it is 4 chicken breasts. I cut them in half because actually a half a chicken breast is going to be a serving size. That way it's easier when I grab it out. I have a package of cream cheese softened here. There is a cup of Monterey Jack cheese that's going to go on top. It has 4-ounce can of green chilies, and then just some spices, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and cumin. So let's get started. Alright, so I'm putting the green chilies into my cream cheese mixture. Then it is half of a teaspoon of garlic powder. And if you're curious, garlic powder and garlic in general, it does have carbs in it. So anytime you use garlic powder, you want to make sure you're factoring that. Because other spices I won't always put into my tracker. But garlic powder and onion powder do contain carbs. So you want to make sure that you're making sure you don't have too much of those. Alright. 1/4 teaspoon of cumin, and then it's 1/4 teaspoon of salt and pepper also. So there's my pepper. And here is my salt. Alright, so now you just mix these together until they are combined evenly and put it over top of the chicken. I already have my oven preheated to 375. They're gonna bake in the oven. The recipe says 35 to 45 minutes depending on the size of your chicken. I actually might push it to an hour because my chicken was frozen. I took it out of the freezer a couple days ago, but it wasn't fully thawed. It was mostly thawed, but not all the way there. So I'm worried about it not cooking properly. So I might let it go a little bit longer because undercooked chicken is not good. All right, so I am just pouring this mixture on top, and I will try and coat the chicken evenly. Alright, and then the last step is just to put the cheese on top and then put it in the oven. Okay, that is it. Sorry that the lighting is a little strong. Let me see if I can turn it down. There we go. That is my chicken. This was actually one of the easiest recipes I made, so I hope that it's good. I will say that it's gonna make me go over my protein for the day for sure. So 1 serving of this, with, like I said, is half a chicken breast plus like the toppings. And I created a meal for this. So it's gonna have 334 calories for a serving, 6 carbs, 38 protein, and 19 fat. And I only have 21 protein left for the day. So having half a chicken breast is gonna put me over. This is why in general on keto, they don't prefer chicken breast. They prefer fattier meat so that you're getting more fat to protein ratio. But I'm excited to try this recipe, so I will check in with you guys in an hour when it's done cooking. So I forgot to turn on my mic for any of this last part, but I am just dishing myself up a half a chicken breast here, and then I'm going to show you on my plate so you can kind of get an idea of what the portion size looks like and all of that. So here is my dinner for the day. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that video and kind of a little cook with me along the way. In terms of like how keto is going for me, I really like keto overall. I think me using the app that I'm using is really helpful. It helps me track all my macros, and it's like I don't have to put too much thought into it. I'm just making sure I'm portioning things out correctly throughout the day. And most days I'm able to have a little bit of fruit at the end of the day for like a little dessert, and I look forward to that. So I try to make sure I have enough carbs for that every day. So the day that you saw, I actually did go over, but that's really the only day I've gone over on multiple things. If I've gone over, it's just by a little bit on a few things. But generally, you know, I can tweak things if I need to. I can go into my thing and I can actually add more calories if I feel like I'm not getting enough calories in the day. I think I'm in a place where I'm pretty good with it overall though. But yeah, like I said, I found that chicken breasts are overall probably a little bit too lean of a meat and too high in protein. So I'm gonna try and stick with things like chicken thighs where you have fat in the skin on it and that gives you something there, or things like beef or pork, or just things that are a little more fatty since you want fatty things on keto. I have been having some cravings also, nothing too bad. My biggest ones are Sour Patch Kids and potatoes. So specifically like fries or chips, and Sour Patch Kids are my favorite candy, so I think that's why I want those. It's a manageable craving, and I think a lot of times I'm just craving stuff if I'm hungry. So if I go eat a keto meal, I'll be fine again. So that's that. I think these cravings are more manageable than when I've done Whole30, and I can do a whole like my thoughts on keto versus Whole30 if you guys want to see that, since I've successfully done Whole30 twice and now I'm doing keto. So if you want to hear my thoughts on them side by side, I can do that for you guys. But that is everything I have for this video. I'm sorry that it was a long one, but I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.